JJ Humphrey, and we are on Elephant in the Room. Hey, today we got a special guest, Sean Buckner. Hey, Sean, we're having a little bit technical problems hearing you, so sometime I may have to get you to repeat yourself. I don't know what's going on, and whether it's on your end or my end. Trying to work out some issues there, but let's go ahead and go forward. One of the things that we got Sean on here today, me and Sean have been working on a lot of the same stuff, which is DOC, the Department of Corrections, and some of the big issues that Sean has been discovering, working on, investigating. Sean has a social media platform called Transparency. He's been outing a bunch of things going on across the state, especially law enforcement, DAs covering up a lot of issues, not filing charges on people, some of the schools that are not filing charges on some of the sexual predators that we have in our schools. But he's been doing a real work with the Department of Corrections for the last, probably 2 months, Sean? Sean, you're going to have to lean closer. We can't hear you. I'm still not able to hear you at all. Let's see if we can. Try that. Hey, we're back on Elephant in the Room. We had a little technical difficulty right there. We had some sound problems. But hey, we were bringing you up to date on Sean. Sean runs Transparency, which is a social media platform. He's out there investigating all kinds of things, DA issues, school issues with some of these sexual molestations occurring at the schools, jail issues, prison issues. And today we want to talk about prisons. So you've been looking into the prisons about how long, Sean?
Oh, it's been about a year that I've been looking at prisons, specifically in the Department of Corrections. It's been a couple, 2 or 3 months. I've been getting a lot of people that's reaching out to me, inmates and their families wanting help.
Is it not amazing? I don't know if you get as many as I do, but I mean, I could literally pick up my phone right now and go through message after message. If it's not DOC, it's DHS. But I mean, I get hundreds.
It's overwhelming, JJ. I mean, it is totally overwhelming. I'm just a, single person running my page, and hundreds of messages a day.
And people wouldn't believe that. You're not over exaggerating. I mean, hundreds a day.
Yeah. Yesterday, I actually was interviewing an inmate while he was in his cell. I'm not going to disclose who it is at this point in time, but he wants to come forward and literally expose the DOC of what they're doing. It's over in Great Plains. And it's to the point to where he doesn't care if they know who he is or not. He's at that point. He's been pushed past the point of no return.
Oh, I get them calling all the time. I have long interviews, or whatever you would call it, conversations with people in prison. It shocked me the first time. First time I got calls up there at the Capitol, it was really shocking. It's like, did you ever believe that you could be sitting here at the Capitol getting these kind of calls? They call me on my cell phone all the time. Had a conversation yesterday, for a good, long, lengthy conversation, about the conditions of the prison, that kind of thing. And really, Sean, there are 4 prisons that are outrageous. That would be Red Rock, Great Plains, Dick Connors. I say 4 or 5.
Alan Gamble.
Alan Gamble was one I was saving for the best for last.
Yeah, I was just going to say, my buddy Ron Durbin and I, we went down there. I'm sure you've seen the video. I think everybody in the State's seen the video where we went to Alan Gamble.
Ron, he don't know how to make anybody mad. You know what?
No. You know what's funny is Ron always tells everybody he's the nice one out of the bunch. I'm the mean one, and he's probably correct about that. But
he tickles me. He gets people really upset. I was there at the courthouse the other day, and he got hit down there at Payne County. Some lady hit him with the truck. He was like, JJ, they hit me. I go, Ron, everybody wants to hit you with the truck.
Yeah, no, Ron, he gets after him pretty good. And
he does. There ain't no doubt about it.
But yeah, we made a trip down to Alan Gamble, and that video, it was pretty interesting how that was going on. What's funny is that we knew that there was 56 deaths in the last 2 years, and how I come up with that information was through the OIG, the Office of Inspector General. One of their investigators had reached out to me and said, hey, you need to research this. We've got 56 deaths in the last 2 years, and they're doing, they're running gladiator pits down there. And that's what we went down to ask about.
Well, here's what's funny. They really went after Ron over what he said. I'm not going to get into what Ron said, but what they tried to do is default off on what they tried to make it all about Ron. It's nothing about Ron. Whether Ron said whatever he said, I know Ron. I know he ain't a racist. I know that maybe he misspoke. Ron gets feisty. He gets feisty and he goes on. So maybe he misspoke. Okay, if he did. But the issue is, it's not about Ron. It's about what's going on. It's about 56 deaths in 2 years. I had turned over a bunch of stuff to the Daily Oklahoman. They done their investigation and come up with 24. Y'all come up with 56 in 2 years. I think theirs was 20.
Well, Yeah, and let's talk about those numbers, JJ. You got 56 deaths in 2 years, and my understanding is that they're homicides. Now, a lot of these deaths go as suicide or natural causes when really they're not. They're being misreported. That's what I'm understanding.
They had one guy down there that my understanding was stabbed 8 times, and they ruled it natural. The medical examiner had to turn around and say, "Well, I think it's all these holes that
right.
You know what I mean? Not natural. That's not 8 holes in you ain't natural, okay?" But no. I think what the Daily Oklahoman had come up with is 24 something that they had declared murders.
Right.
And so again, the thing you got to talk about, Sean, is that OIG often doesn't investigate a OD as a murder. So if you want to murder somebody in prison, guess how to do it. We'll give you guys watching, if anybody in prison's watching, we'll give y'all a how to kill somebody in prison. Because basically, if you make it look like suicide, if you hung somebody, they're not going to investigate it. They're not going to look at it. If it looks like suicide, they're going to rule it suicide. If it looks like drug overdose, they're not going to go in and investigate. Who gave those drugs? One, whether they intentionally killed you or did not intentionally kill you,
right.
Still died. It's still homicide.
Right. I can tell you that. I can tell you this. I did a couple of interviews with Warden Margaret Green and Warden Mrs. Quick, Christy Quick.
Mm-hmm.
And they were quite long interviews. Margaret's was about 4 hours. And the things we discussed was pretty much what we're going to talk about today. But there was a particular inmate that got murdered in her facility over there at McAlford. And it's been not long ago. And that family reached out to me, and I've gotten a lot of information from the inmates inside and from Warden Green about what had happened. And that was that Talon trailer when he exposed the video of the inmate stealing an iPad or a tablet. And those tablets are pretty expensive, I understand, in prison. They're like $300, $400.
Well,
and that's a pretty big thing to be stealing in prison.
It's a big thing to be stealing. And I guess regardless of cost, it's your link to the outside. And, it's a big thing to have. And
right.
So for him to steal it, big thing. For that officer. So, guys, what we're talking about, an inmate had his pad or one of his devices stowed. And this is what we're hearing. So we want to say allegedly all this is the way it went. I think couples already possibly pled guilty to it. I'm not sure how that's working out. But this inmate stowed this, iPad, whatever it was.
Right.
The officer brings the inmate into control, which again, I found out is not as big a no-no. Used to, that was off limits, absolute no-no.
Correct.
He brings him in. He shows him a video, which is security footage of this inmate stealing the item, which is absolutely forbidden. I mean, that's absolutely off limits right there. He shows it to him. My understanding, he says, don't put him in medical.
Don't put him in the hospital.
In the hospital, okay. So what that's telling you is that he knew that he had poured gas on a fire, and he knew he was lighting a match. His intention wasn't to burn the whole house down. His intention was to get this guy's attention or get
right.
And so again, I mean, I don't know. Intent goes a long way. But at the end of the day, he knew what he was doing.
Absolutely. And the biggest problem of that is Talon Traylor is the son of the chief of security. Mr. Traylor is the chief of security for the entire Department of Corrections. So, with having that kind of clout in the department, I don't know if he's trying to just think that he can get away with anything. The laws or the rules and regulations don't apply to him. But he damn sure poured some gasoline on that fire and got that inmate killed. And
and not only that, other inmates were involved in it. They my understanding, put the inmate's head in a door. Death by getting your head slammed in a door. I don't guess there's any pretty way to go, but I've been around a long time. That's the first time I've heard of that one. You know what I mean?
Well, they come up with clever ways to harm people, but what's offending on this whole thing to me, and I get a lot of questions, I'm sure you do too, JJ. Why do you do this? Like, why do you expose this type of corruption? And, I've been told several times, even this morning, because I'm working on a case over here in Sebastian County, which is actually in Arkansas, but it was a sex offender that got beat pretty bad. And it's not about what crime they've done. They're in prison. They're paying their debts to society. When we as a state take custody of their soul, when they become wards of the state, we have an obligation to give them rights to basic life. And even inmates have rights. And when these guards and these corrections officers are violating these rights, there's a potential lawsuit that's going to cost us, the taxpayers, a lot of money. And if these videos get out and people actually saw what they're doing to them, it's appalling. It's insane with what the wardens are coming. Why are the wardens coming to Sean Buckner Transparency to talk about this? You know what I'm saying?
John, here's what's funny. And because I keep up with you and Ron, see what y'all's doing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we don't know each other. We talk some, but we don't know each other super well. But I mean, we know each other a little bit. But I know this. There is nobody went after sex offenders like you and Ron Durbin. After the school.
Oh, absolutely. I despise sex offenders.
Oh, my golly. I mean, y'all have come out like gangbusters on all the sex offenders, whether it be rape, whether it be butler, whether it be
especially students. I mean, I really hammered Vian coach over there here in the last 3 months. I've got mom, dad, son, principal, or the president of the school board. They all quit over my exposure. But here's the thing. Even though that they're sex offenders and they're in prison, they're wards of the state. We have an obligation.
That's what I was saying, Sean. I mean, you get that. There's nobody that I've known be after sex offenders like you. But yet here you are explaining that, guess what? They're wards of the state. They're in our custody. It ain't about them. It's about us. It's our responsibility. Are we going to be professional and do what's right?
And look, here's the way that I qualify those things, and it's real simple. It's like, okay, so if you've got a sex offender in a school, and the superintendent knows this, or the principal knows this, then they're putting liability on the taxpayers. Everything's based on taxpayers, right? So if there's a chance that knowledge is going to lead to a lawsuit, then that guy needs to go. Hands down, bar none. That predator, they need to be fired. They need to be out of that school. They need to be in a position where they can't harm kids. Get it? So whenever you look at the other side of the fence, when you're dealing with prison corruption, I'm not protecting sex offenders. I'm protecting the tax dollar, because when you get these corrupt guards to, commit acts that are going to hurt inmates, that's putting liability on the taxpayer again, right? So
absolutely. I come out a couple of weeks ago talking about I'd done a news interview with a guy named Charles Tiger. Guess what? I don't even know. I think he's sex offender. Here's the deal. I don't look it up because it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Inmate. He was saying, if you put me down there, they're going to kill me.
Yep.
They put him down there, and minutes later, he stabbed 38 times.
Yep.
What I'm trying to tell people is he's going to end up suing the state.
Sure, absolutely. And by all means, he should. And I've talked to their family.
Yeah, and he'll probably win. He'll probably win. So there'll be another, 100,000, million, whatever lawsuit.
Sure.
And then he's turned around and he's cost us how much in medical And
Oh
Sean,
yeah.
can you imagine all the calls you're getting right now of the assaults every day? You know, I mean, would you
Yeah.
say one assault a day, or would you say two assaults?
More,
Yeah,
more,
I would
more.
be shocked. I would be shocked if it's not one serious. I would think it's more than one serious requiring
It,
medical treatment. And again,
it's so many, JJ. I have to qualify what I really respond to. I try to respond to each and every one of them. And look, to all my followers, there's so much information coming in. I try my best to get to everybody. I just can't do it all. It's almost impossible, JJ. There's that much coming in, and
no, I got on my messenger. I bet I've got 100 unread because
yeah,
I can't read them. And I will set when I get in at night. If I'm not wore out, there's times I will set up till midnight.
yep,
To try and answer people. I see it. Got it. Can't get into it deep, because I'm trying to respond to everybody.
yeah,
It's amazing just to get my phone on Messenger and text Messenger cleared. And then I let my assistant take care of the emails. And then I got another email that's private email that, same way. And I'm just telling you, can't keep, it is overwhelming.
it is, and there's a reason. You've got. I've hammered pretty hard on the director, Justin Ferris, the director of.
Yeah, I haven't on him ever quite often.
And Director Ferris, he literally has no experience running a single prison, let alone the entire department. And my understanding, and this is from the words of the two wardens that I interviewed, both Christy and Margaret, that between all three of the top individuals at the Department of Corrections, you got Ferris, you got Bo Reynolds.
Sparks, Bo Reynolds.
And the female, what's her name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. But yeah, they have zero experience of running any department or literally any prison. So they don't know what's going on in those yards. They don't know what those wardens are needing. And that was the biggest complaint, not only from Mrs. Quick, but from Mrs. Green. She said we're understaffed. We don't have the money or funds to maintain the facilities. And man, I tell you, those facilities are probably in pretty bad shape. I've gotten pictures from inmates that, they're not even able to use the bathroom. They have to go to the bathroom in the shower. And
well, when you see inmates waiting, and again, we're not talking a little sewage. We're talking, above your ankles.
I've got the pictures. I'm sure you got the same pictures.
Yeah, up on your shins with sewage. And again, what's that do medically and sanitarily?
It's costly to the taxpayers because.
And what's it do the facility? That's the thing that people got to understand. It's not, you can not care about inmates. Although I would tell you, be careful because your kid or your grandkid or one of your friends or aunts, uncles, whoever.
They'll be there.
It doesn't take a whole lot, and people never dreamed it, but it can happen overnight. One person goes to a little party, gets a little intoxicated, runs over somebody, and the next thing you know, your life's upside down with a pretty decent, I've seen some pretty decent people. One of my first deals worked a guy that hit somebody three or four beers that he had, very young kid,
sure.
hard working kid, knew the family, hit her in the dark. She was walking down the road. He spun his tires a little bit, hit her. And I'm telling you, that kid was ruined. He was a good kid. And what ruined him was the fact of having to live. He was like, I don't care, send me to prison for life. I just make her go away. He said, sure. I can't close my eyes. So good kid, ruined his life. It can happen before you say. And again, we're throwing these young people to the lions. We're throwing them to the lions. These prisons are out of control. And Miss Quick and Miss Green are talking about the lack of officers. And again, the quality of officers. And I don't want to, I don't want to down anybody or talk bad about anybody, but man, used to get a job in the penitentiary, I mean, you almost had to get political. A lot of times you had to get political to get in there. Everybody wanted that job. They had great training. They were professional.
Right.
What? Now you can't get nobody because everybody in the prison saying, hey, the last place you want to go to work is in this prison. So word of mouth getting out there.
And that's an issue, and that's something that Mrs. Green and I spoke about is like what, and Mrs. Quick, about what are the qualities. What's the quality of corrections officers that's coming into the system today compared, 10 or 15 years ago? And obviously we all know that the state of Oklahoma is 50th in education. And I asked them specifically, like, how is that affecting, the quality of leadership or the quality of officers that are coming into the department in today's world? And both of them, hands down, it's horrible. They've got people that can't even write reports. They have to help them write incident reports as when they come up. So, that's a big thing. What I've, ran my campaign on for the Senate was to get the state of Oklahoma off the bottom of education, because that affects everything, literally.
Well, here's the problem. When one of your police departments there, Broken Arrow, I think, pays over $100,000. Many of them pay $90,000. You can go down to Durant, probably start about $60,000. Come here to Toka, hey, they're going to start you out pretty close to 50. Somewhere like that, and you're going to raise up. Well, who wants to go to work for the Department of Corrections? I think we've got them up to the 40-somethings basic pay. Now
that's like $20 an hour.
Yeah, they're going to work overtime, but look at the conditions that they're working in.
Sure.
And we're going to do that. So if you've got if you can get cleat certified, or you got some, something going on for you, you're going to go to work for one of these places that's going to pay a lot more money, and that's got the potential to move you to somewhere like the Highway Patrol or something like that. You're not going to come down here where they're going to treat you like a dog. They're going to work you, and you're going to make more money because you're going to get overtime, but you ain't going to have no life. You are going to have no life. These people want you to be on call. Can you imagine them telling you got to be on call and we're not going to pay you for it? Now, there's the issue. That's a law violation. They're violating the Fair Standard Labor Act, and guess what? Nobody's calling on them. And again, these are the kind of things that instead of coming out and being honest, they're going to come in and say, well, here's the deal. We got an elderly population, and that's why our death rate's up there. So, hey, here's the deal. We got 60 in our academy right now. Well, yeah, you got 60, but you're 1,200 behind. And guess what? Out of that 60, how many are actually going to stay more than 3 weeks? You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's the problem. You're spending money on getting them trained, and then they're leaving.
They're leaving.
Instead of bringing them in and letting them have a month or two, that's what I'd do. I'd bring them in and work them with part of their training would be working side by side with a qualified professional person. Now, here's the other thing. When I got in there, hey, you had a lieutenant, man. I mean, lieutenant normally have about 8 years before they ever made lieutenant. Now they're making lieutenant at 2 years.
Right.
And they do not have those people training them. So like when I got in there, man, all these people I looked up to who trained me and taught me and talked to me, and hey, let me tell you what you did wrong here, whatever. And I listened to them because, man, they had the experience, and I liked them. They were awesome people. And guess what? That was the best school I went to, was right there, on the job training, right there with them. But then I went to the academy. Academy was great, not a problem. Then I went to PO Academy. Then I went to Clean Academy. Then I went to Special Officer Training Academy in Arizona. Went to Dare Academy. So I was going to training all the time. And that's not counting the CERT team training that we were on, going all the time. Gun retention, self-defense, firearms, how to address a building if you're going in to do a raid or anything like that, a building entry. Man, we were doing stuff all the time, training. They don't get that anymore. They get none of that. We don't have our CERT teams are a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have a sniper team. If you had a real crisis, used to, we were the ones they were calling. I mean, if they had something out there in the civilian world, we were getting called all the time to go take care of jails, and I say we, DOC. I didn't necessarily get called on any jail deals, but I know many of our CERT teams did. You know, when we had Oklahoma City bombing, guess what? All of our CERT teams responded. We had stuff like that. We were constantly going in and doing shakedowns on prison. I responded to a bunch of those, all kinds of stuff. You know, you don't have that anymore. We've lost all of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the training is in Oklahoma, but as many deaths as this state has, I think the numbers, they're crossing 200 for the year. Is that correct? That's what I'm hearing.
Well, here's where I'm at. I looked at, because the year's not completed yet. So I looked at 25. I looked at 24. In 25, I looked at 24. And if I remember the numbers, they were 180. Okay. 15 a month. Okay. Now it's 192. So it's increased 16 a month. So it increased one a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, roughly when you're saying 15, 16, you're talking about a death every other day. Now that's insane. And we're going to say, oh, it's due to elderly. Bull crap. That's a lie. That's another twist to make me look good. Instead of just coming out and telling the truth and saying, you know, we need help.
Well, and you know what's crazy is I've sent several records requests in to the Department of Correction, and I have gotten zero. I mean, zero information back.
Right.
And that's concerning to me. I mean, you would think that with the platform that Ron and I have and you have, that they would, you know, I don't want to say cater to us, but they would at least be cognizant of, hey, if we don't provide these records, you know, we're going to get some blowback from, you know, not just me and Ron and you, but from our supporters or followers. And these guys up there at Department of Corrections, they don't want to release anything. And it's concerning with how much records we've requested and how much we've gotten back.
Well,
have you had that problem?
Oh, absolutely. I sued them over it, and my lawyers made a deal with Drummond. So my Drummond got a hold to my lawyers, asked my lawyers not to serve it, and so I never got service on it. So I'm sitting around going, "Where's my lawsuit? What's going on with the lawsuit?" Finally, hired a different lawyer, and then they come back and said, "Your lawsuit was dismissed because it never got service." I called my guys who were doing it for free. So, I mean, I can't really, you know, so
can't. Yeah.
But yeah, there's no recourse, but they were like, "Well, he asked us not to do it." Well, damn, are you working for him or you helping me? But in that lawsuit, what I was suing them for was because DOC and House leadership made an agreement. I can't have open records. I can't have records. And at the time, I was chairman of corrections. Tell me how that riddle me that. What the Humphrey is going on right there, you know? So
you're a representative of the state of Oklahoma, and you can't have access to public records.
And I'm still a representative.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you would think.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you'd think that they would open the doors for you. Like, hey, come on in. And, you know, look, if I would never want to run the Department of Corrections, but if I did, I would literally make these records online available for everybody. There should be nothing to hide. And when somebody's not producing records, you know, videos, they don't want to talk about it. You know, they're circling the wagons whenever you ask Justin Ferris any questions at all. There's something wrong there. They're hiding it. But, you know,
I've got deals called facts at a glance. So when I was working there, they would put these articles, or it's a sheet of paper, both sides is two-sided. How many inmates they had, they would break them down to minimum, maximum, medium, how many out in jail, how many out in medical. They would break down the staff, how many correctional officers, how many of these. They would break them down to race and gender, male, female. here's the races, Caucasian, Black, Asian, Native American, bam, and other or something. And again, they would have all of those, each prison, the numbers, you flip it over to the back, it would have the prisons, the numbers, probation, parole, how many we had, how many female, how many. I mean,
Yep.
you could get one sheet every month and you can look at every number, serious incidents were on there, all this kind of stuff. Guess what? That was going out to the public. You could go down to the library, go pull it up. I mean, now we're sorry, that's under investigation. We're sorry, we can't do that much. Or they'll just never respond to you. Or, well, JJ, you put out some stuff on people being locked in a shower for 9 days, 2 by 2. So we're not going to give you anything because you released non-public information. Well, here's a news bulletin. Human rights violation is not covered under your policy. In fact, human rights violations are required to be reported. And again, I'm doing by law what you should be. And again, I didn't get it from the Department of Corrections. I got it out in the public so they can kiss my goat smelling honey. You know what I'm saying? I got it in the public, so I don't owe them. And for them to say I can't get anything is ridiculous.
You know what I don't understand, and I've always had this argument, and we probably need to push on some lawmakers to rectify this issue, is that a video, whenever you request a video, let's think about this. You request a video of an incident. That video is not going to change the course of the investigation. It's already happened, right? So what's seen on video should be public immediately because it's not going to change the outcome of the investigation. And so why are they hiding it? The only reason they have to hide is because it's going to, A, get them fired because they're acting inappropriately, or it's going to cause a lawsuit on the department because they've done something illegal. But the video, it really aggravates me as being an activist for corruption, is that these cities and these states and these departments hold these videos like they're gold. They know that they are going to get in trouble by it, and they don't want the public to see it. That's the only reason they're holding them, JJ. But we need to pass some legislation that says, hey, if there's a video of an incident and it's in a Department of Corrections environment, then it's fair game to the public immediately.
Well, here's the thing. We've got it. It's called open records.
Yeah, but they don't follow it.
Our AG opened this portal. Oh, I'm going to be the public records guru. And yet he's going to my lawyers and shutting down the big lawsuit to open that up. A huge, huge deal. And again, that shows you where he's at. But at the end of the day, Sean, if you come down here to Atoka and you commit a crime, guess where you're going to end up? I mean, here's the deal. You're going to end up in jail, but guess where else you're going to end up? On the front page of the County Times. If it's not public record, then how can they put off, you kill somebody out here in the public, and guess what? You're plastered all over the paper. But if you kill somebody in penitentiary, oh, nope, that murder is confidential. We're under investigation. You can't talk about it. We can't even know who got killed. We can't even know who's the suspect. We can't know anything. Well, that's a lie. They're lying big. When they move their mouth, they're in the Department of Correction. If they're moving their mouth, they're probably lying.
You'd mentioned earlier about an old boy that was drinking and hit a person and ruined his life.
Sure.
Have you gotten anything on the Polson case like I have?
Oh my gosh, they're sitting up there laughing, and this is a month or so before that they knew it was coming. That they're laughing, and they're laughing about mothers against drunk drivers ain't got the pull to get her done. That they're going to beat mothers. That the staff who are supposed to be for the public, represent the public, protect the public, and they're up there laughing because a woman who got drunk, who ran 3 times what she should down a back street, on the way to pick up the kids, I was told, hit another girl, have crippled her for life.
Changed her life forever.
crippled her for life. And guess what? Now she's up there going to get out in 70 days, and they're laughing about it. You know what I'm saying? That's the reports I've received.
I've pushed out some videos on that. I've actually, and I'm sure you've heard them, but I've got some audio of Mrs. Polson and Mr. Polson in the jail talking about how they're going to negotiate with Justin Ferris doing some work, trying to get her moved around, and Governor Stitt.
I don't think they said Justin. I think they said the leader or the guy in charge of the department or something like that.
Yeah.
Sean, they got terrible code. They got code like the big guy over politics, aka the governor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me break your code, the governor. Oh, the guy in charge of the department, aka Justin Ferris, the director. You know, we got that P thing. That's called parole. You know, I'm pretty good at breaking their code. They don't have good code. You know.
Yeah, no, not at all. And you know, it's a shame because one of the biggest things that I'm fighting over, and I'm sure you're fighting over, Ron's fighting over, is this two-tiered justice system, and that exemplifies the justice system that we live under. Your buddy goes to jail, you know, for a really long time for hurting a person, and Polson, you know, she does some pretty bad things to that gal. She'll never be the same, and you know, she does 70 days on a, what was it? I think it was a 6-year sentence or 8-year sentence.
8 years.
Yeah. So she's got an 8-year sentence, and they're able to manipulate it around to a 70-day sentence to where she's going to get out. And she was worried about having an ankle monitor.
Yeah, ain't that tough?
That's
tough. But here's the deal. You know, I talked to Miss Green myself, and again, we're talking about things where they're telling to put people back in cells where they have problems. You know what I'm saying? Where you know there's stuff going on. Hey, y'all ignore that. Just tell them shut up. If they won't give up, who you know. And again, I get it. Some of these guys get in debt. They get themselves off in a wreck. Now they got people threatening to kill them. But if they give up who's threatening to kill them, they're for sure dead. You know what I mean? So
sure.
And you know, we're not going to protect you. We're going to let you go ahead and get killed.
Yeah, that's what Mrs. Quick, you know, I was actually talking to Christy, Warden Quick, and my question was real simple: is what can we do to mitigate all these deaths in prison? And one of the things that I don't know if you knew this, JJ, but I worked for the Department of Corrections of Arizona for 1.5 years, and one of the things that she had mentioned to me, Mrs. Quick, was that they don't have any systems to deal with the STGs, the security threat groups, and that if an inmate comes out of a cell and says, hey, I can't house with this inmate, their written orders from command, which is Justin Ferris and his cronies up there, is to pepper spray them and shove them back in the cell. I was blown away by that. I was like, there's no way you can do that. If you've got an inmate fearing for his life and he comes out of the cell and says, hey, I can't house with this individual, you got to do something.
Well, and here's the deal. The use of pepper spray, one, is not going to be on a person that's not being aggressive to you. If they're just saying, I can't go back in that cell, that's no reason to pepper spray anybody.
That's correct.
Second, if you do pepper spray people, there is a serious incident, and there becomes a chain of policy chain, procedure, sure, whatever you want to say, and how to handle a pepper spray, because it's written up like a serious incident. And that's what I'm saying. They're not, these things, they're pepper spraying them, throwing them right back in there, not following. You had to get them medically. You got to wash them off. You know, there's procedures. Or at least it was when I was there, you know.
Me too.
You had to account for, and you had to make sure that nobody's going to come back on you and say, hey, that knocked my eye out, or I was allergic to that, and you know,
sure,
you know, all these kind of things. So you get them checked out medically, you get them washed off, rinsed off, and then again, if they're saying that my life is in danger in there, you're not going to stick them right back in. And the problem is, they're overwhelmed because they don't have the help, they don't have enough people, and because they've turned over the prison to the inmates, and every one of these people are telling the truth, and they can't handle the volume. So what do they got to do? Just throw them back in there and roll the dice and see how many get killed.
Well, and that's what, I don't know how far I want to go with this, but that the Office of Inspector General, one of their investigators contacted me and said, Sean, this is what's going on down at Allen Gamble. They're running a gladiator pit down there. They knowingly know that inmates can't house together, and they're putting them together.
Right.
And they're doing it for sport. And that's not my words. That's from the investigators, and I've got it all recorded. I mean,
I guarantee you that's what. And that was going on at Lawton before Jim Ferris got there. They were breaking them in there, letting them fight, and they were watching. And I had officers telling us that all the time. And nobody's listening. Nobody's doing anything.
We're crazy, JJ.
Right.
They think that we're crazy. And the funny thing of it is I don't post anything unless I have the receipts. And I may not be able to give them to the public, but I can assure you that if the right agency came, the FBI came knocking on my door, I'd hand them everything. And I've got the names, I've got the phone numbers.
I've got over to the FBI, so I've given stuff to the AG, and again, been absolutely ignored. Again, our House leadership absolutely have ignored, and this has ignored it for years and years, and it continues to get worse and worse. And again, I would say that Justin Ferris was under Crow. He was under Harp. He's been in charge almost a year, and it has progressively
gotten worse. It's way worse. And I've asked an inmate, I was doing an interview with an inmate yesterday, and I was going to publish. The inmate literally said, Sean, I'm at the end. I can't do this no more. They've beat on me. They've done everything they can possibly do to me. And I want you to publish my interview. And I told him I would, not a problem. And what was really crazy about it was I asked him, I said, you realize if I publish this interview that they're going to know who you are and they're going to retaliate. Hands down, bar none, they're going to hurt you, bud. And he says, I don't care, Sean. He goes, I can't keep doing what they're doing to me. And what's really crazy about it is I was literally processing the video and getting everything put together in the back end to publish this interview. And I get a phone call from him, another one. He said, Sean, don't publish this interview. I've got 5 or 6 more inmates that want to talk to you. Serious. And I said, okay, I won't publish it. We'll do more interviews. And they want to come at it as a team. And I don't even know what to think about, like what they're doing to those inmates as far as the living conditions. And it has a lot to do with the STGs, the security threat groups, that they're not classifying them. They're not taking into account that, medical conditions, a lot of medical condition issues. They're just throwing them in there, and if they don't want to house with each other, they pepper spray them and throw them in there anyway. And
and here's what gets me: when they beat them about half to death, or when they're on life support, or stabbed 38 times, they won't let their family go down to see them because they don't want them taking pictures.
Nope.
They won't give them any information. We have murders going on. You can't get any information. So again, when they investigate themselves, guess what? They're going to get off every time, and that's what we're seeing. Hey, we got about 2 or 3 more minutes to wrap this up. We got on a little bit late. Man, we could go all day because we really haven't even got into your interviews with the 2 wardens. So we'll have to have you come back, and I'll have to have you come back on that DA we was talking about. But here's the thing. I just want to know, I've been told extortion's completely out of control.
My gosh. Yeah, so I'm working on a case right now on an extortion out of, I believe it's Great Plains, that this lady's paid over $6,000, $7,000 in the last month.
I get calls like that all the time.
Yeah, and I have asked her, like, who are you paying these to? And it's literally to other inmates to other inmates' families.
Oh, I provided the records. They won't do anything at all. So you hear anything about them covering up Prius, the rape stuff? You hear anything on
All
that?
the time. All the time. I don't even know how to approach that, JJ. Really,
I mean,
it's that much.
Well, here's the deal. I'm just making sure that I just want people to see that you're getting the same, and it ain't like me and you collaborated. I mean,
No.
we just started talking here recently. So we got extortions, rapes, stabbings, beatings, assault on staff. You hearing anything on assault on staff? Like
I get a lot of staff calling me and messaging me about things that are going on. Not so much about staff getting injured. It's more about what other staff tell on themselves, right? They tell on other staff members, like. But I haven't had a lot of people saying I'm injured. I do know with what Justin Ferris and how he's running that department makes it extremely dangerous, not just for the inmates, but for the entire staff. I mean, he's going to end up losing all his good officers.
Well, I've been told they are covering that. That's another number they've been covering up. I've been told that several times.
Injuries from staff?
Yeah, I get, and that's a big number. When you see your staff starting to get assaulted, that means they have no concern, no care. That's your big number right there. To me, working in there, that's a huge number that I look for. Now, I call it right now, we're in a perpetual state of riot. And what I mean by that is we've lost control. You think
and I've asked that inmate that I did the interview yesterday with, one of my questions was to him, like, you're calling me wanting to expose what's going on. How close are you to injuring, rioting, to actually attacking staff based on what you're telling me? He says, I'm already past the point, Sean. He goes, this is my last ditch effort. If you can't help me make a difference, I have no choice. And that's where they're at. And it's concerning and it's scary. And I'm sad for the guy.
It is way scary. And again, we're barely getting into it. We've reached our time. Sean, I appreciate you. We're going to have you come back on here, continue this discussion. Guys,
I'd love to.
Our prisons are out of control. You're hearing it from somebody else that's getting as many calls as I am. He's interviewed wardens. He's interviewed other staff, just like I have, just like we've been telling you for years. This is going on. It is getting worse. It's not getting better. We as Oklahomans, we're getting sued. We're going to get medical bills. It's millions and millions of dollars in taxpayer dollars. If you don't care about anything else, you ought to care about that. So
wasted money.
Wasted money. And again, lives and people being raped, it does matter. They may be inmates, but they shouldn't be exposed to all that. We're not a third world country, and they're under our custody, so it's our responsibility. So again, with that, I'm going to jump off here. Sean, I appreciate you. Keep up the good work, brother.
Yep, JJ.